In an interview with Josh Horowitz, Thor actor himself, Chris Hemsworth, addresses his Marvel future and if more Thor films are to happen, how he would want to reinvent the character. And it comes down to moving past the version that Taika Waititi has unleashed on the MCU. So first up, what he said is, if you look at the first two Thor films, Thor 1 and 2, they are quite similar in the way they look and the way that they play out. And then if you look at Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder, those two are very similar in terms of how they look and how they play out and the type of style in them. Again, you can see that the more recent Marvel films, including Thor, Love and Thunder, and Ragnarok, are way more comedic and slapstick and jokey compared to the first two. Even though those two had their share of jokes and cringy moments, like the infamous Meow Meow, which people now seem to, for some reason, praise, like that wasn't cringy and always bad, or like the train sequence and just a bunch of jokes that didn't land, I think you have to find a good medium. I personally don't think they've ever found that with Thor. Maybe Ragnarok, in my opinion, was the closest they got to serious and slapstick, but still, I could see why people would argue against that, so that makes sense. He did say he doesn't know, though, if he's going to come back and what the future holds for Thor, but he believes that they have to move past the version that they recently did. And he even says if you look at Infinity War and Endgame, that was a major departure and that was completely different. And that was more serious. So it seems to come in twos is what he's saying. And he says that he doesn't want to risk getting lazy and falling into just doing the same thing when it comes to Thor. So evolving the character and moving past what they've done in the last two films is the best option in his opinion. Now, honestly, I don't know what you do here. I mean, if you go back to the style of Thor 1 and 2, you're kind of going massively backwards in terms of visual style. But in terms of story and everything, it probably can be more serious, but then again, a lot of people that like the new stuff aren't gonna like that. Like, there is tons of people out there who they want slapstick Thor all the time. That's their favorite version. They absolutely love it. You know, you and I might not love the screeching goats all the time, but there's people that's all they want. That's their version. They wish the screaming goats could be in more things. They wish they could undercut the cancer revelation with more jokes. Again, it's however you take it, right? It's personal preference. To me, if Thor comes back in another film, I honestly want them to try something new as well. I personally don't want anything that we've had before with Thor. Either the first, the second, third, or fourth film. Like, try something completely new and see what happens. Because again, this seems to be the franchise that's seeing the most shifts in terms of tone and execution. So why not just keep it up and see what happens? I mean, I don't know if you're going to get any worse, so, you know, try.